So the Pistons have the 1 seed,
Yeah.
locked it up for the first time since 07, and the turnaround in a short amount of time, 2-year span, they go from a 14-win team that set an NBA record 28 consecutive losses. Tom Gore's dropped $60 million to fire a coach. And since that point, this is as remarkable a turnaround as we've seen. What they did last year was one of the greatest single-year turnarounds in NBA history, and then to take it to another level this year and be the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Who do you give the most credit to? Like, if you're a Pistons fan, please fight back against the Red Wing calls we're getting and call in and talk about this basketball team and highlight guys that you feel deserve credit for what's taken place here. Because there's no shortage of dudes, and it could be front office, it could be holding a whistle and a clipboard, it could be someone who's playing in these games. There's a lot of guys that deserve a lot of credit for what the Pistons have done. Who would you spotlight most for what's taken place over the last 2 years?
I think it's J.B. Bickerstaff. Look, Cade Cunningham is always going to be a great player, but he's gotten the most out of him. He's got him to play defense. Duren, he was drafted when he was 18. You'd hoped he was going to get better and better. He has, but under his tutelage. Now, we're going to find out. I mean, he got fired in Cleveland because he didn't have a lot of playoff success. He's 0 for 1 in the playoffs here, but that was different. They just getting there was a big deal, and they played well against the Knicks.
I'd have no issue. He should have won Coach of the Year last year. He's going to win Coach of the Year this year. He's the guy tying everything together. Individual pieces weren't fitting with Monty Williams because Asar was here, Duren was here, Cade was here. They didn't have a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
Those same issues are still true. The difference is they're not winning 14 games. They're going to win damn near 60 games.
Correct.
You got 97 won the ticket. I don't know who that is. The old guy, I know him for 97 won the ticket. And they want to know, apparently tired of talking about the Red Wings. I heard them talking about replacing Eisenman on X. I'm like, well, who? That's my thing. Who you gonna replace him with? That's just, sometimes, they ain't performing well. Figure they won a bunch of games this year, look like. They'll figure it out. But, who deserves the most credit for the Pistons? It ain't no who deserves the most credit. And this is where we get into a dig pulling contest. Without Teresian Langdon, it ain't no JB Bickerstaff in Detroit. Without Monty Williams fucking up, right, it ain't no JB. Without Tom Gores, willing to throw money away to Monty Williams and admit he made a mistake making a man take a job that he didn't want to have in the beginning. Without him taking accountability, none of this happens, right? Who else you got there? And also Teresian Langdon, for people who forget, he wanted to work with Monty Williams, the rumor was. He wanted to work with Monty. He didn't even want to fire Monty Williams, and Tom Gores had to take the power out of his hand to fire Monty Williams. Let's not fucking forget that. So when we start talking about who deserves credit, to me, it just seems to be a question to tear down what they've built. Because you can go Troy Weaver, he deserves credit because he drafted the foundation of this basketball team. Did he have a huge miss on Killian Hayes? I don't know what crack he was smoking, but what if he would have took Tyrese Halliburton and Tyrese Maxey? Because he could have took both of them in the same draft. And maybe we don't end up with Cade. Who knows? We can be further. We can be further to the promised land. We could be closer to it. He took either one. They could have left the 2020 draft, I think it was. They could have left that draft with Tyrese Maxey and Tyrese Halliburton as their backcourt. And probably still could have ended up with beef stew. But everything happens for a reason. What if that happened and they still didn't win? So Troy Weaver, Tom Gores, Troy Weaver, Monty Williams, Teresian Langdon, JB Bickerstaff all deserve credit for this. All deserve credit for this. Because when they hit rock bottom with Monty Williams, that's what make the Pistons so good, bro, is that they survived rock bottom, bro. People don't talk about that. That's why you see people when they marriages or people be in relationships and the relationship go through a tumultuous time. They go through hard times, damn near unbearable. And, they survive those times. Even with your friends, y'all survive those times. Y'all got a whooping for being home late, or y'all was getting chased by some dogs, or it was times where y'all trust was tried. It was time where y'all resolve was tried, but y'all persevered. The relationship is stronger after that. Women, that's one thing women don't understand about it. Women don't understand that part about it, is that when the relationship get hard, that's where the relationship is built. And that's where you form an unbreakable bond, unbreakable connection, not through sex, not through the laughing, not through the $200-$300 dinners. It's when you face with turmoil. This is why you have the stylistics that had one of the most famous songs throughout history. If you think about it, make up to break up. That's all we do. First we break up, then we make up. That's a game for fools. Yeah, think about that for a minute. Facts. The hard times, and the Pistons going through that hard time and still being able to hold the nucleus together, even through his times where you hear rumors when Sada Baby was leaking out that they didn't really fuck with Killian playing over the other players. They was able to stick together, even sticking together and be able to see Dwayne Casey on a day-by-day basis and still being able to see him every day. Him still being around. There you have it. So without that rock bottom versus Monty Williams, and them test, that's how you test them. The Thunder went through similar times. Everybody just think it's the tank. Oh, they tanking. Not necessarily. Sometimes, it's y'all holding it together through tough times. And now that they made it through those tough times and they still held each other together, JB Bickerstaff and Trajan Langdon had a ball of clay that they could mold however they wanted to mold it. They had their most teachable moment. They still cool. They still got camaraderie. They stay trying to figure it out. So they are more tentative. So when he said, you can't do this at practice, you can't wear this at practice, we're not doing this. All of those things was needed to happen for them to get to this point. Right? JB Bickerstaff had to get fired from Cleveland to get to this point. He about to take a year off. Trajan Langdon said, let me holler at you. Come on. They didn't know each other from a can of paint. Visions lined up. Here you have it. So we start having these conversations, man. Like it's not a, oh, do you blame the play? Do you give it to the play? Nah, it's a team effort, bro. This is even when you start talking about individuals, golfers, they got coaches, trainers, caddies, people that pay for them to get to the golf lessons. You start talking about tennis players, you got coaches, you got people that nutritionists. It's a team effort. It's never a me effort throughout life. It's really always a team effort. Even people that's tried to stop you, they was part of your story. They was part of your team. Because without them trying to stop you and make it hard for you to get to the top, that built the character inside of you. The Pistons have a lot of character. The Thunder have a lot of character. And that was the one thing that was missing from the Philadelphia 76ers. That team lacked character. Doc Rivers don't have much character as a head coach. For him to throw Ben Simmons under the bus. Remember when he talked about they traded Shea Gillis? Remember he tried to say that he wasn't, I didn't want them to trade Shea. No accountability. So when your leader don't have accountability, when your leader don't take it on the chin, when your leader can't look at himself and he want to throw somebody else up under the bus, that's why Philadelphia 76ers the way they are. No character. You want to know why the Knicks can't get over the hump? They didn't grow together to have character. That's another thing. They didn't grow together to have character. So when you put these super teams together, you hoping that the Miami figure it out. You hoping that the Boston figure it out. But Boston, they had character because some of the KG and Paul Pierce, they were tired of getting their ass kicked. So sometimes you can create that character, but a lot of these teams lack character, bro. You look at the Los Angeles Lakers with Luka and them, they lack character. They lack character. Watch how that Cooper Flag kid be. Through this whole year, with him playing point guard and Jason Kidd, him being at the center of the Lucas shit, and his character is going to be off the chain. His resolve, this resolve is going to be phenomenal. I'm telling you that right now. You look at the Pelicans, they lack character. They lack the character. You look at the Hornets, they figured it out. Charles Lee, man, if JB didn't get coach of the year, Charles Lee right there to right that ship with them wild animals over there. And I mean it. LaMelo driving crazy, Miles Bridges getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying? For him to do that, bro, that's big ups to him to right that ship. It took a lot. The Pistons developed everything bad to happen to the Pistons, good to happen to them. This is what you see now. And really, Troy Weaver's whole issue was he didn't know how to surround the talent. That was it. He didn't know how to surround the talent between Stu, K, Asar. He didn't know, and Trajan Langdon came in, Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris was probably the most important signing. Malik Beasley, great signing. Then, remember, you ever heard that Jay-Z song, 1 Million? When he said, I did it again, ninjas, he did it again. He brought Duncan Robinson in. Karis LeVert kind of hit or miss, but, he brought Duncan in. He brought Danish Jenkins in. And what's the other kid? Kevin Huerter. That was a good move. I was a huge fan of that move. Paul got brought in a couple seasons. He made a lot of good moves, man. So, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, it ain't who deserve this and this. Everything have to happen to get to the point that you at. Everybody look at they mishaps, they failures, the pain. The pain is what fear of failure is what drives success for a lot of people. The fear of failure is what drives people. The fear of going homeless, the fear of being broke, the fear of sleeping in your car. The fear of failure is what drives success in a lot of people. They tasted failure. They don't want to taste that shit again. This is why you feel comfortable handing Cade some money. This is why you feel comfortable handing Jalen Duren some money. So you don't want to go back to that. So hit the link in the description. The link tree say find me everywhere: X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Peace.